What really bothers me, though, is the prejudice and the racism that I see in the races of color. If you look, I mean, people are upset because black folks are upset because the Mexicans are taking all of these jobs. You know, we got a problem with the Asians, we got a problem with the people from the Far East, and I'm trying to see, well, what's happening here, if it's a color thing or is it a consciousness thing? And that was what I really, you know, I had a chance to study with Dr. Huey P. Newton. And one of the things that he expelled from me was prejudice of race. He said, it's not about race, comrade. This is the Black Panther talking. It's about consciousness. And I think that we need to be concerned about raising the consciousness of people. In the church, we talk about the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. And when you read in the Bible, you hear about neighbors, but really those Old Testament scriptures, your neighbor had to be another Jew. It wasn't the guy that lived next to you. Hello? Are y'all with me? That was a punchline. Doing my comic thing. I ain't getting no help, man. Because you have to put some humor in this because, I mean, I'm almost moved to tears because I've heard this story, how this young man was treated. And the idea that the murderer of Trayvon Martin is out on bail for a lousy $150,000. And the way the court was, the way they had him to get on the stand at a bail hearing and prove his innocence before trial. Something wickedly wrong with that.
It's a murder charge too. How do you get a bail?
Yeah. When I was coming up, you couldn't make bail on murder.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, so if you had a murder you needed to do, you needed to get away too. You didn't go to jail. So it's a lot, and my brother brought up something. He suggested this might be a moment in time where we all can come together and really stand up. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said, a people without an army is a people without a voice. My brother can go, and mother, they can go all by themselves here and speak, but until there is an army of people that are committed, in the kind of way that Martin Luther King was committed, you know, I mean, it was you know, you have to put your life on the line. See, some of us don't even want to lay our opinions aside, much less our lives. Correct? You know folks like that, right? You can't get them to change their mind on an issue or change something, but to lay your life on the line for that. Somebody asked me, why am I coming to a socialist meeting? I said, because there's going to be people there. My mother had a theme, and her theme was reaching the people. And so, I don't know, I could talk forever. I'm in the foreclosure fight. But, you know, when Oscar Grant was murdered, it was 6 days before anybody said anything. And Minister Christopher Muhammad of the Nation of Islam called me up. And he said, what was that you was talking about? I said, I just heard it on the news. I wasn't aware. He said, did you know this is the 5th day? And nobody has said nothing about it. And that's when we went to Oakland and started that movement over there. And that's where the phrase came from, I am Oscar Grant. And until we start knowing that we are Donnie, that we are Trayvon, and taking stuff very personally, and nothing is going to get done. We're going to have these good field meetings, and we're going to pat parents that are mourning on their back, and we're going to leave them to their grief, and that's going to be the end of it. So when I was coming to this meeting, somebody said they invited me because I was in the foreclosure fight. I'm fighting injustice anywhere I can find it. It's just not about foreclosures, but it's all interconnected and it's all interrelated, all made from one and all made in one, whether it's out migration of people of color from the urban cities, whether it's the privatization of prisons and gang injunctions, whether it's just pitting one person of color against the next. We have to come out and we have to speak against it. St. John, will.i.am, Coltrane, said that in music he was trying to see what he could do to make it better. So in other words, he said, if I find something in music and I think it can be better, he said, I think I have the responsibility to try and make it better. And he said, and I think we all have that responsibility in any department of our lives, whether it be socially, politically, or any other way. So if I'm the Archbishop of the St. John will.i.am Coltrane African Orthodox Church, I cannot be silent when I hear injustice, when I see murder, and we coined a phrase that I heard somebody told me that mortgage was a French term, and that it meant a death contract. And it never registered. Morgue, get it? Morgue. Everybody want a mortgage? Got to get me a mortgage. Got to get a death contract. But as these, these vampires and these people will tell you, there's not a silver bullet to this problem. Yeah, well, I watched the vampires movie too. But some holy water works too. And this works. So we don't have to, be subjected to trying to say, oh, well, we got blah, 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 blah. But we're surrounded, so we're advancing in all directions. But we had no idea, and I'm thinking about the Bayview community. The people that came to Bayview were people that came from the South, getting away from Jim Crow laws, coming here and bringing with them those moral, ethnic things that they held so precious, like honesty and hard work. And in doing so, Bayview became the #1 homeowner community in San Francisco. And it was the majority of the homeowners were black. I still live in Bayview. I came here in 1948. Okay, I'm still in the Bayview. I have lived in Fillmore, I lived in Diamond Heights, Hunters Point. I've lived in all of them, but when you go to that community now, it's not a black community. So what I'm saying is a lot of the elders were the ones that these vampires and these banksters preyed upon and came in, and they had no idea what a grave situation they were being brought into and being led to the graveyard to bury their inheritance for their children and for their retirement, and also to destroy a community. I've been heard saying, I'd rather borrow money from Al Capone. He's from Chicago, right? They break your legs, right? You get them set again, and you can keep moving. These guys will break your heart, man. They'll break your spirit. They'll break up every hope that you ever had to be somebody of significance. Again, thank you very much.